staff level on that, or
Yes.
it's fine?
I plan on all neon. No, no, I'm just joking. I'm sorry.
Or does it happen that long?
No, just teasing.
It's type 2 action. It's a type 2 action.
Okay, the project's considered a type 2 action under seeker, therefore is predetermined to have no significant adverse environmental impact, and no further review of the board is required. Okay. I make a motion to approve. She's still writing.
Here you go.
Okay. Your signage okay, approved with board policy 6, 10, 11,
That's it?
and signage and lighting, turn over to, let staff handle that. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Roger. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Best of luck.
Okay, we have,
Yeah.
okay, we have one more resolution. You gonna read this one? You want me to read it this time?
I'll read it.
Okay.
Okay, this is an additional item, resolution of the City of Kingston Planning Board setting a special meeting of the Kingstonian, number 9 to 17 and 21 North Front Street, 51 Schwenk Drive, and a portion of Fair Street Extension. SBLs 48.80-1-25, 26, and 24.120. Whereas the Planning Board held a public hearing on April 10th, 2019, noting that the public comment period would remain open at the call of the chair, and whereas the Planning Board agrees to hold the special public hearing on June 3rd, 2019 at 6 p.m.
Correction, I see that should be special public meeting on June 3rd.
Okay.
Not a hearing.
Right, not my fault there.
Found my pen, it was in my ear.
Okay, so I make that correction. The Planning Board agrees to hold the special public meeting on June 3rd, 2019 at 6 p.m. in the Common Council Chambers at City Hall. And whereas the Planning Board agrees to close the written comment portion of the public hearing on Friday, June 1st, 2019. Now therefore be it resolved by the City of Kingston Planning Board as follows.
Friday is the 31st.
June 1st is a Saturday, so how do you want to do that?
Who's Saturday? June 3rd?
Friday, June 1st. Wait a minute. No, wait, you sure?
Friday, May 31st.
Friday, May 31st, not Friday, June 1st.
So is
June 1st
3rd
is
is a Monday?
June 1st is a Saturday. Yeah, June 3rd is a Monday. So the 31st.
Okay, so the correction is entered. The Planning Board agrees to close the written comment portion of the public hearing on Friday, May 31st, 2019. Now therefore be it resolved by the City of Kingston Planning Board as follows. The Planning Board will close the written comment portion of the public hearing of the City of Kingston on, I'm going to change that to May 31st, 2019, and we'll hold a special Planning Board meeting for the project on June 3rd, 2019 at 6 p.m. That this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Discussion?
Okay. I make a motion, we approve.
Let's have a discussion.
Just quick, what did we discuss with the public with regards to the written comments at the last meeting? I remember sitting at the meeting stating that we would keep it open, but did we specify when we were keeping it open till, or what?
An end
Di-
date
we
on it.
didn't-
It just
right,
said
it-
open for written comments.
Open
So is
for
the
written
purpose to
comment
have written
and
comments end by May 31st, so then we can discuss that at
On
the special
June
meeting?
3rd.
So, yeah, so on June 3rd,
And just based on those written
Correct.
comments. Can we post something on the website with regard to this particular date? Because I don't want people to come to the public meeting and say, I didn't know that I had a deadline.
It had the June 1st date, so I'll change that to May 31st.
Okay. So the public has been aware of that? I don't want to,
until you accept that this evening, it's not official, so.
correct, but that's what's been put out to the public, that's what they're expecting.
Yeah, but I see what Robert's saying, and I agree, like, because then when we get to Monday, June 3rd, if people are expecting to still have their comments put on the record, we want to make sure that the public is fully aware of the dates of when their comments are.
Yeah, I just don't want to seem like this wasn't a meeting that was supposed to be discussing
Uh-huh.
Kingstonian, so I don't want,
Perfectly clear to the public what their,
but if it's out on the city website, and obviously anything we've been posting with the project is there, it's, a few weeks away, and we have media here, so I think there's enough notice. Okay,
I'm sure Ariel will put it in the record.
be helpful. All right, so Chuck has a motion, do we have a second?
I'm looking for a second. You second it?
Okay, somebody's got to speak. You can't just raise your hand.
Well, he could have made them.
opportunity.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
I have one other question, just before we finish. The discussion about the streets and the safety of streets and how the Common Council wants to declare themselves lead agency with the grant that's coming up. Is there any opportunity, or is the Common Council willing to give any opportunity for the Planning Board to maybe weigh in a little bit, only because we have so much training behind us and we spend so much time looking at streets and sidewalks and projects around the city? Because with
The lead agency, or that you wish to participate as either involved or interested in the agency in their review as the lead agency.
I'm not trying to have a power struggle here. I think there's more participation in it because, our Common Council is on the outside anyways. And being a board that looks at the whole city and all of these large plans and traffic studies and streets and things, I think it would be nice if they gave us a courtesy to have a little bit of input, or at least asking us, this is what we're thinking at this intersection, what do you think? Because we may have a project or something in the background that they're not necessarily aware of, or decisions we made in the past that they're not necessarily aware of.
So you can certainly respond when they circulate their request that they be named lead agency. You can submit your responses to them at that point. You can also submit responses to them now if you want. At this point, it's just come out of committee and it's going to the council.
I'm just asking what other planning board members might think. It's just something that we should have our staff just send a memo to them, so we would like to participate, or does anybody care? I don't know if it's anybody care, but do any board members have any feelings on?
I think it's hard for the planning board to have input, I don't necessarily feel we need to be lead agency.
I agree.
But I agree that we should at least see it, input, discuss.
And I'd just like to see if they've been what's sent back and say, hey, this is what we as a planning board would do, or this is what we're thinking, and here are the reasons why, rather than just say, because of,
So there's
just the amount of time we spend in the city on all these projects and knowing what's out there and things, it would be, I think, nice, because I don't want to see decisions made that,
So pretty much the same as we usually do, but in reverse. So instead of receiving comments, you're sending them out.
Or, you're obviously working with the Common Council, that they come up with a plan, maybe they submit it to us like they do other
Rennie, our liaison, is sitting over there, and Rennie has certainly indicated that you wish to be involved in the process, and that the planning board should be.
I mean, also the numbers say a little bit, but I think it would be more than 3.
Right, right?
Only if we can put up more stop signs.
And then take it down.
I want to say that Carla sent around an email about holding a second special meeting each month on the second Monday. Or Kingstonian primarily that's we won't have it, but
I think the thought
Well-
was that it was very hard to coordinate and also get that out to the public this June 3rd meeting. So if there was one that was a set day a month that worked for everyone, we could assume that was going to be a special meeting, and then if it's not needed, we wouldn't have it.
So in theory, we could meet at a regular planning board meeting and make determination whether the special meeting is required for the following month. But there would be a standing first whatever day of the month that would be the special meeting.
if,
I think that the,
if it's,
in follow-up to the meeting that we had as a group, where the board had expressed the desire to have, with larger projects, to have special meetings so that you're not addressing major issues at 10 o'clock at night and forcing.
I agree.
To wait, that you can start the practice of scheduling the second meeting, and then if you don't need it, you can't, so have the dates available, you have the dates chosen, assuming that they're going to be large projects.
Do we have large?
Monday does not work for me.
So what we could do is look at the Common Council calendar for this room and see what
right.
regular days are available.
Now, do we want these special meetings before or after our normal monthly? 'Cause
I don't
our-
think it,
Does it
I
matter?
don't think that makes a difference.
Okay.
Because you would make the same, you would have the same deliberation, and then you would have the, potentially a vote at a special meeting. So you would not have to go to a regular meeting.
Would we still not have a meeting in August? August is a tough month for me, for meetings.
Yeah, I don't, that's typically a month that we have off because of vacation. Plus the fact that the public itself doesn't have the ability for input in that month. That's a very popular vacation month.
Because in anticipation of us not having a meeting in in August, I've kind of booked things, around, so I would not really be available in August for meetings. But other than that, I'm open to whatever the board chooses.
Okay.
My question is this, I know people say, well, we stay an extra hour if we have all of this, or hour and a half, whatever it amounts to, that now we're late. So instead of staying an extra hour, you're taking another whole night away for a special meeting. Okay, so instead of us doing one, we're doing two. I mean, when I first came on this board, it was not odd to leave 9, 10 o'clock.
I'm a little torn about that. I think that, as the public, we see a lot of people come with their little kids and, they want to have their public input, but it's difficult for them to stay so late. I mean, somebody like with a lot line deletion having to sit through like an hour
2 hours.
of public comments. And so on the bigger projects, I could understand it, but
I have a problem with it too. I mean, you have people tonight, a simple lot line revision, but these people are paying a surveyor to sit here. I mean, when a surveyor is sitting there for 3 hours waiting for his turn, and I think also the board, I mean, we're volunteers. We all work all day long. I mean, by the time 10 o'clock comes, I'm tired. My mind's shot, I'm tired, and it's just to take on these large-scale projects, you need to be sharp. And I think that when I first came on the board, we laugh, I had Bernie Matthews and a couple applicants. Now we have these large-scale projects, we have police, and the whole room is full. There's more people here than a common council meeting. So obviously, the public is finding these projects extremely interested and important. And I think that if the particular project has that kind of public input and people showing up for the meeting, then it deserves a special meeting. I think it requires a special meeting.
Yeah, and
But I don't want to make a habit out of it
I
either.
was gonna say, I don't know that it's needed to be consistent like that. And I don't know how many nights we really need for the Kingstonian, but, once we go through,
Process.
Osneg, however that plays out, I don't know how many days we'll need for that.
I don't have a problem. I'll come to the special meetings, but if they're on the first or the second Monday, I have KVA. So I can't, I have to go to that. But otherwise, as a rule, I don't miss them. But these special meetings have been a little crazy lately.
If we want to schedule a few, because the Kingstonian is now present and it's, it's on our docket at the moment. Like if we want to schedule a couple
For the next quarter.
for the next quarter for the Kingstonian specifically, I'm fine with that. But as a consistent thing, I don't know if I agree with that. Like, because Chuck's saying it, then it's very difficult to plan other things,
When you have the June special meeting scheduled, there's going to have to be a second meeting in July, particularly if the board's intention is not to meet in August. So if you can start circulating with regard to the July meeting, and timing-wise, when is the one that's already scheduled? The July meeting, when is that supposed to be?
July,
Whatever the third
Yeah.
Monday is.
So a second meeting in July, and then everybody should assume that we're going to have a second meeting in, probably in September and October, to move, the matters along, and, we should start, figuring out those dates sooner rather than later, so that they get on the calendar, so there's sufficient notice.
So I think
We'll
we'll
look
look
at-
at the
yeah.
common council calendar.
I mean, if we're all here for the 15th in July, then maybe that special meeting should be sometime the third week of July. I mean, I know I'm on vacation the second week, but I'd plan on being here the third week because it's my normal planning board meeting. So
I
if,
think that was the discussion, was the third
Okay.
week.
only because it's a summer month, I think most people are, so maybe we can shoot for the third week of July, same week as the regular meeting for Kingstonian. And the other thing we can do is reevaluate the July agenda. I mean, if the July agenda only has 4 items on it, then we can tackle it in a night.
Right,
But if the July meeting has 20, then we need the special meeting.
right. I agree with that.
I don't know what's on the pipeline, so you guys know what's coming up. But usually summer months are light.
So you're looking for a
Usually
special
no.
on
It's-
The
22.
end of the month before, what's going to be on the agenda.
right,
versus-
but it's not only us, it's the availability of this room.
And the applicants,
Right.
obviously. But
Well, yeah, obviously, but I think what Robert's saying is
Yeah.
you kind of have an idea of what's going to be coming up the next month for the regular agenda. If it's a couple lot line deletions and maybe one new business or something, then we could probably entertain it in the same night. And like you're saying, cancel the special meeting if,
Yeah,
the agenda's light with a,
That's kind of what we were going for, that we would just kind of schedule it and then kind of see how it plays out month
So
to
let's
month.
see if we can schedule another meeting in July, maybe the third or,
third week of
the
July.
third week of
See how
July.
that plays out for this room, and then,
see where we
So 2
stand when we
meetings
get
in
closer
1
to
week.
July, whether we need it or not.
Okay.
is the third week okay for you, Chuck?
Schedule, right?
Yes.
They make a Google Calendar.
22nd is good for me in July. 15th isn't, but I'm,
Is our regular meeting.
Yeah, that's our regular meeting.
I'll be blowing that one off. So I'm away
Is anybody on vacation the fourth week of July?
So that, you're.
No, but the August,
Vacation.
the first week of August, I'm away.
Anybody on vacation fourth week of July? So why don't you send out a doodle poll based on the Common Council calendar for the third and fourth week?
KVA meeting.
See what happens.
I might
Second.
be.
You might be gone too. You could check.
Got
Did we-
adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
We did everything.
I think so.
Motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Awesome.